Hey guys, I'm going to do a little bit of myth busting here if I can. I think that a lot of people believe that fresh fruits and vegetables are always going to be better than frozen, sitting in a cooler area over there when you walk into a supermarket and you're picking out your fruits and vegetables. I don't think that's the case, and I've got 4 really good reasons why I say that. So I want to go over them with you if I could. My name is TR. I'm a personal trainer and I'm also a nutrition coach. I work with people over 50, helping them to stay strong and motivated and nutritionally sound and physically fit. So again, today we're going to work on fruit and vegetables, frozen versus fresh. And here we go.
Okay, so we're going to give it a shot going into the grocery store here to do a little price comparison between frozen and fresh, how those things price out together. They don't like us videoing in here for some reason, so we may or may not get away with it, but we're going to give it a try.
Fresh blueberries are $4.89 for 18 ounces. Frozen are $2.66 for 16 ounces, making the frozen less expensive than the fresh by $1.68. If you do decide to go with a canned version, please be sure there's nothing added to it. Spinach, fresh, $3.64 for 10 ounces. Frozen, $1.26 for 16 ounces. Canned, check the label, guys, not healthy.
Okay, so field trip is over. Time to go inside and tell you the 4 top reasons I think for choosing frozen over fresh.
So reason number 1, vitamin B and vitamin C are water soluble molecules. So basically what that means is they're super sensitive to light and heat and to the changes within those 2 ranges. For instance, if you have a spinach and you take it out of the ground and get it on its way off to the supermarket, within that first week it has lost 50% of its vitamin C. That's half. 50% is already gone before you even have an opportunity to pick it up and bring it home with you. So the other substance to concern ourselves with are antioxidants. The antioxidants' job is to neutralize unstable molecules, we call them free radicals, that harm your DNA. They contribute to aging and cognitive decline and a whole host of degenerative type illnesses that can be avoided with some good antioxidants. Again, more than half of that is gone in no time before you even have an opportunity to take advantage of it. They're found in fruits, they're found in vegetables predominantly, and they gradually decline because of that same oxygen, light, time, movement sort of problem. By the time these products reach the shelves, they are extremely nutritionally compromised. So what happens to these fresh vegetables and fruits is that they have to get on their way, so they're pulled before they're actually ready to be pulled, before they're naturally ripened, and they get on the truck and they get to the warehouse and they go to the supermarkets. And what the commercial industry will actually do is spray them with what's called ethylene gas. Okay, and that'll ripen them in a sense. It gives them color and it gives them texture, but the natural ripening, the sources of sugar and sunlight, again, all of that stuff is not happening for those fruits anymore. Whereas the frozen ones, the less healthy ones, are actually the ones that are still sitting on the vine because they need to be frozen when they look perfect, when they're ready, when they're ripe, because that's how they're going to sit and that's how they're going to look when they come out of the bag. So you've got one thing that's decaying and moving along in the life cycle, and the other one who has been flash frozen and is sitting in a suspended animation essentially, waiting to be used. So another thing about flash freezing, I'm laughing because I've tried to say flash freezing 5 times now. Another good thing about it is that the microorganisms that would otherwise generate have no time to grow, bruises or mold spots or any of that. They won't appear. So you have a shelf life that's extended by natural means and without any need for preservatives. It's basically the opposite of sort of slowly freezing something. You have some fruits on the counter for a little while and you know you're not going to get to them, so you put them in the freezer. That's a slow freeze, and it gives the organisms and the molecules a chance to rupture as they're freezing. It's not a quick shock to the organism. So therefore, when you thaw it back out, you typically will get mushy sort of food that's just not as lively as it would be if you purchased it frozen in the first place. The other thing is that you can kind of portion things out a little bit better, right? If you want to have some cottage cheese or a yogurt and you want some blueberries, you can undo the Ziploc, you can pour a couple in there and the rest go back in the freezer. If you've got it on the counter in a little basket or if it's in your fridge, that rest of that stuff is continuing to decay and you might get a good couple of times out of it, but the rest is going to wind up going in the garbage. Whereas if it's in the freezer and it stays frozen, the time is almost endless for how long you can go back and use it. So in a way, it's a very cost-effective thing too. You're not worrying about wasteful usage of your food. So that leads me to the fourth and final reason, which is pesticides, okay? Fresh produce, especially imported, often go through post-harvest treatments to slow down the ripening, to extend the shelf life, all that stuff we talked about, as well as to prevent pests from infesting the fruit or vegetable. So this can include wax coatings, fungicides, ethylene inhibitors, all kinds of things to slow down ripening and tweak this or tweak that, all chemically. It's just stuff you don't want to do if you can help it. It's so much simpler to go grab something that's frozen from a drawer and doesn't have the need for any of those to have been added to it in the first place. So the last thing I want to touch upon is something that I hear quite often, which is the slamming that people give organic. They say it's just a marketing word that's used to help flashy up some product or charge some more money for it. But the reality is the USDA and the National Organic Program, the NOP, they have really very strict standards. So there can be no synthetic pesticides, no fertilizers, no genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and farms must go through annual inspections and certifications by the USDA. So I just want you to understand that organic is a legally defined term within the United States, and it has inspections and it has certifications. It doesn't mean zero pesticides, it just means no synthetic one. In a world where we're kind of fact-checking everything and suspicious of everything that we hear, just want to clarify or reassure you that seeing something that says organic is a good choice. It's not perfect, but it's going to be a whole lot better. But there is some good value to that. So if you found value as far as that's concerned, if you found this video to be helpful, hit the subscribe button for me, guys. See some more simple nutrition tips on my playlist, as well as the ones that are going to be coming along, and I'll see you in the next one.